Okay, folks, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly, I'm going to say game master today, because today we are doing something a little special. Today, we were going to be carrying on with our campaign playing Savage Supers, using Savage Worlds and their Superpowers companion. But unfortunately, we lost someone yesterday, and then very late last night, we lost our last player, so we're down to just Will, one of the stars of our ongoing Savage Supers campaign. So having learned that last night, I tossed and turned and put into motion some plans, and Will doesn't know we're playing today. So we are going to jump in, and to be honest, I did not have a huge amount of time to prep, so a lot of this is going to be improvised, so we'll see how this all comes together. But let me introduce you to today's player, though. Will!
Hi, I'm Will, and yeah, as long as it's not Fiasco, we're good.
Yeah, we're definitely not playing fucking Fiasco. All right, so what I want you to picture is this is I felt the one of the best illustrations I could find of on a very short notice of a Depression era train station. So I want you to picture sweeping plains, empty, dry fields, abandoned vehicles, perhaps. There might be on the station platform here one old fella who's sitting on a bleached, almost white rocking chair, going back and forth, smoking a cigarette that's rolled up of newspaper on account of shortages, and there may be a fair bit of something else in that tobacco to make it make it last. The train tracks seem to stretch out, a black contrast in the wavering in the heat in either direction. We can see a town not far off from here, but the station is a little further back, suggesting this isn't a place of a lot of cargo coming through, anything like that. This is a place people, are either dropped off at or flee. This station, at least, would only be for passengers. The dull air of the stillness, I should say, not dull, of the afternoon is broken by the sound of a train coming in. And ever so slowly, it rolls up towards the station. Does not seem there are a lot of people in any of the passenger cars. However, there are a lot sitting in the boxcars. We see as the smartly dressed conductor gets off, he leads one person off. This person is dressed in a brilliant and very well tailored azure colored suit, wool, and very fine fitting. As is customary for the era, you would expect this person to be wearing a hat of some kind, and perhaps, given the location, even a cowboy hat. But he's not wearing that. He is wearing something on his head, though. An azure blue turban.
Ooh. Doesn't happen to have a beard, does he?
He has a long beard. And somewhere on his person, there is a dagger as well.
That is correct.
Who you see step off the train is Amar Khalsa Singh. Now, allow me to show you and give access to your character sheet.
Alrighty.
So, this version of Amar is built with 5th edition.
Okay.
Obviously, there have been some events that have transpired since we last saw him trying to infiltrate the Spire on somewhere deep in a jungle in Tule. But he seems to be fairly well accustomed to whatever this setting is, suggesting that some time has passed. And while he speaks with an accent, he speaks English perfectly well and perfectly understandable, or understandably. He says to the conductor, I have luggage as well. And yes, sir. So he heads over and brings it over. There is a steamer trunk worth of stuff, and then there is his like a violin case type thing, and there is his valise that has his whatever other clothing he has with him. You'll notice on your character sheet you have your, hand-to-hand attacks, and in the gun case is your trusty radium gun rifle. And I think I've got it listed as a laser gun, but I can change that name here. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. There we go. You also will see he has... I tried to make sure I grabbed as many of his magic items as would likely make the successful trip. He has his Cloak of Protection, he has his Ring of Spell Turning, and he has his Ring of Invisibility. He also has managed to accumulate a couple of extra gewgaws. So would you... Let me just get to the page I need here. Is this the book I want? Yeah. Here we go. Where is it here? So you're cracking open your case. What do you call it? Steamer trunk. Mm-hmm. And would you give us first 2d2 rolls and then 2d100 rolls?
Okay.
These are other items you have collected over your nice 1 and 2. Good bit of variety. 75, 25. All right. Okay, so one thing that you have in each of these has, let's see here, is it one use? Yes, you got a single use left of each of these. One is some kind of unnatural like spray dispenser, and this bulky handheld device has a large tank and a rubbery hose with a wise aperture. When activated as your action, a fine mist of scintillating dust emanates from the device, covers and adheres to walls or defensive structures of up to 30 feet wide and 30 feet tall per round. You have 10 rounds worth of charge, which means a total of 300 by 300. For the next day, the walls and structures sprayed gain a +5 bonus to their AC. This is a hardening spray. And then the second thing... Ooh. If you use this device to produce a drop of shimmering liquid as an action and successfully adulterate the food or drink of a potential target who consumes it within a week, They must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution save or become explosively poisoned. Explosive poison does not incur the regular poison condition, but instead concentrates itself in the victim's brain and activates when a specific detonation mechanism occurs anytime within the next month. When detonated, the victim takes 50 fire damage. If this kills the victim, all creatures within a 10-foot sphere centered on the victim take 5d6 fire damage on a failed DC 13 reflex save or half if successful. Each explosive poison has a predetermined mechanism, which gives us a D100 roll.
Sure.
Let's see what the thing 82. When the victim is no longer within 120 feet of the detonator on the original poison distilling device. This is poison of detonation.
Good Lord.
And we'll give you one more thing. Once again, another 2d2, but then just 1d100, please. Oh, actually, no, 2d100 again. 2d100.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2d2, and then... Wait, no, 1d2, then 2d100. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll take the first one there. I got it worked out here.
That's fine.
Okay, 1, and I can take that 82 you rolled, and then a 99. Great. Okay. So, oh, sorry, yeah, 24. Okay. Let's see here.
What's that 82? How did that get in there?
82. Okay. And 1. All right, let's see what this is. This rectangular handheld device has a clear panel of glass-like material. As a bonus action, you can use it to record the image of anything viewed through the clear panel. The imager can store thousands of images, and you can use your action to make it display any image that is stored. So it's some kind of very, very fancy high-tech camera. Yeah. That does not expire. That is an imager. You can use it as many times as you like. Okay. So, for those who may be unfamiliar with Amar, why don't you tell us who Amar is?
So, Amar was a Sikh monk from actually Earth in the, and I'm trying to remember if it was I got to remember my centuries. I think it was 18th century Earth. Yeah, I believe that's correct.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. And in India, in the Punjab region, and he had wandered into a cave, and when he came out of said cave, he was no longer on Earth. He was instead in Hyperborea. Mm-hmm. And he had many, many adventures there. For anyone who remembers using Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, we traveled all over, went to yet another plane, and there was even a moment, and I don't remember if it was a dream or a fugue or what it was, where Amar traveled somewhere else. It was a Victorian London type setting, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
You remember that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So Amar is a traveler. He gets around.
He definitely does, and he had a strange connection to one of the Eldritch races. There was one point where he met with a shaman in one of the major cities in Tuleborg. And do you remember what the shaman had told him?
Oh, hell no. Come on now.
So what he had indicated is that Amar seemed to be a particularly valuable target for these creatures, because he was able to travel bodily across time and space.
That's right. I remember now. I remember that whole bit.
Yeah. So then there were quite a few adventures with the Reavers of Thule, and we then that campaign itself came to an end, but I certainly didn't stop thinking about Amar. And hence, today's session, for those listening at home too, Will and I talked about this before we went, but we had very little very little preparation time for this, and I came very close to using 3rd edition for this, and I was very, because I'm in a bit of a 3 kick right now, but
yes,
I elected. I'm like, you know what? I think this will be. There's other reasons why, especially not for nothing that you've been getting into 5th edition now, right? Then, okay. Today's session, it's called Return of the Reaver. So, one thing that we do see that was not present on your person before is a little pin. And it is a pin in the shape of an, like, classics Greece era shield. And what you would know is that in the time since coming to this planet in this era, you have fallen in with a group known as the Aegis Society.
Okay.
The Aegis Society is involved in all sorts of strange, pulpy adventures, anything that would be suitably appropriate for Doc Savage or the Shadow or the Avenger or, Tom Strong. All of that stuff is what has been occupying your time. Hence, recovering all this stuff. And you've come here because this takes place at some point in the mid-30s. The Depression, the Dust Bowl have heavy grips on all parts of America, but in particular in the southern region. And that is where you have come, because it appears that in the shadows of that desperation and deterioration, things that would hide from man have found places to try and conduct their own nefarious tasks, including perhaps your adversaries, those that chase you across time and space. So you have all your equipment with you, and once you've kind of confirmed everything, the conductor gets back on the train and it carries off down. You see, as you're going along, the dirty faces of a bunch of men riding the rails, trying to find some way to, to find some work to be able to send some money back home. And when they are gone, all you can hear is the sound of someone, the old guy, kind of rocking on the chair. He makes no indication that he recognizes you whatsoever, still just puffs away on that cigarette, which seems to be lasting much longer than it should. That's when you hear a voice from the far end of the train station, and southern American voice. Well, I reckon I'm here for you then. And you look over, and there is a young guy who probably is in his early to mid 20s. He's dressed in that kind of like 30s, era suit, but he's dressed it down, so his shirt's kind of, rumpled, and his suit jacket is kind of rumpled. He's holding his hat in his hand because it's so damn hot. And clean shaven. You knew that the Aegis Society had arranged for someone to meet with you here. How do you think Amar has taken to his new circumstances, having found himself here at some point?
I think it's almost starting to be, on a certain level, it's almost starting to be like Quantum Leap. He's not used to it, but it's not as disconcerting.
Okay.
So he's okay. I understand the language. Where am I? He kind of puts two and two together. So he's not taken completely aback.
Okay. He had one of his items that he made use of before coming here was I can't remember if it was a file or something. It was something that basically augmented his lifespan, and you've been here for almost a decade now. Yeah. So I think you can assume that he's picked up whatever mannerisms, and you're incidentally, even though you have a quite nice woolen suit that you're wearing right now, it does not restrict your movements whatsoever. You're still able to kung the fu out of here, like no one's business. So you look over, and yeah, this guy is here. Broadly speaking, what you've heard is that there are a lot of, one of the things that is tough to parse for your group is parsing desperation cults that are run by grifters and con men, because there's all sorts of radio stations that have popped up over in the past few years, broadcasting the word of the Lord, and all they want to do is send in money. It is the 30s equivalent of the prosperity principle. And in addition to that, there are communes. There's all these terrible but human things that are out here. And what you've heard is there is something here that bears a closer look, and that is on the suspicion of one of your allies, a gifted oracle and psychic. They've also the phrasing of what she had said, the way she described this as a shadow out of time, rang particularly familiar to you. And as such, you've come out here. There is apparently a revival or mission that has taken up in what was a mining operation that ran defunct, and it seems as if they are, someone has picked up that land and is making use of it. It's remote, it's easily defensible, and there's a disconcerting cult that is running there. They don't run on the radio, but pamphlets and word of mouth and what would the word be? Enthusiasm of the converts is such that they're drawing in all sorts of folks. So, you're to investigate this. You're to find what may be going on, and if necessary, deal with it or bring in people to assist with dealing with it. Okay. But one of the things that Amar still, I was thinking about this today. I think one of the things that you may still not have mastered, motor cars. So this gives you the reason for why you're having the chauffeur all the time with
right.
Okay. So then this guy has suggested he's here to pick you up.
Okay. I don't reckon there's any type of worry of getting picked up by the other side.
That is definitely always a concern. You could give us an insight check if you'd like.
Sure.
Let's see here. I think you can roll with advantage too, because you've got what do you call it? You've got a feat called alertness. Oh, yes. I also would like you to pick another feat for Amar.
Oh.
I only picked one. I picked alertness as your kind of, because I thought that like the bonus to initiative fit with sort of how he was, and not getting surprised. There's a surprising amount of overlap between what you can do as a Hyperborean monk and what you can do as a 5e monk. Like almost every one of your abilities is there. The only one that is gone that we really never saw come into play that much was talking to animals.
I was just fixing to say that was the one thing I didn't see on here, and I was like, the only really big major part of that I remember was that mammoth.
Oh yeah.
You remember when I spoke to that mammoth that was sick and I went and healed it?
Yeah. Did you have your speak to animal ability at that point, or did that come with a revision?
No, I think that was in the original rules.
Was it? Okay, yeah.
Because I think that goes back to 1E. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's where that originally came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because I remember they had a bit of a hodgepodge of abilities in AD&D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the monk was all over the place, which was not a bad thing.
So then I want you to consider, you don't need to make the decision now, but like consider that Amar would definitely have another thing. You have access to all of your, all that gear as well. And in your, what do you call it? In your case, there is the radium gun, which you can feel free to take out at any point. The only thing, so if you have, I'm not sure if you've read the Monk in 5e yet, but the...
No, I'm kind of browsing the online one.
Oh, sure. Well, let me just give you the highlights then. So the big stuff that you need to be keep track of is your use of key abilities. So anytime that you make an unarmed attack, you can always, without spending any key, you can automatically also make, as a bonus action, a second unarmed attack. Because you've got extra attack, that also means you're making 2 attacks when you make an attack action, and then you could also do an attack as a bonus action. If you spend a key point to do a flurry of blows, you get to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action, bringing your total for the round up to 4. 2 when you make your attack action. If you spend a bonus action and a key, you do that. When you spend your key for a flurry of blows, you also get to pick one of the following abilities. Either a struck target must make a dexterity save or be knocked prone. They must make a strength save or be pushed back 15 feet, or they cannot take reactions until the end of your next turn. So that is only when you spend a key point to do the flurry of blows. You have your deflected missiles ability, which is just you use it as a reaction, and I've got it set up to roll. So when you click on that ability, it'll roll 1d10 plus your dexterity plus your level.
Okay.
You also can spend key to take the dodge action as a bonus action on your turn. That imposes disadvantage on any attacks that are attacking you. And you also have Step of the Wind. Spend a key point to take the disengage or the dash action as a bonus action on your turn, and your jump distance is doubled for the turn.
Yeah, that was part of the old.
Mm-hmm.
It was fast.
Key point comes back. Your key points are in your blue bar there. That's the 7. Yep. It comes back with a short rest.
Short rest. Okay.
Yeah. Then, you also can, after you hit someone with any of your attacks, spend a key point to attempt a stunning strike. Target must succeed on Constitution save or be stunned until the end of your next turn. So really the most important, the most interesting stuff is the spending of key points and ways of augmenting your unarmed attacks.
And that would use the same key save DC for the stunning. Is
correct.
That right?
Yep. They all use. Yeah, it's the same kind of like sort of unified save difficulty number for every class ability in 5e. 8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your relevant skill. In this case, or wisdom for you. So I think that makes it 14. I think is your save DC, because your proficiency bonus is 3, wisdom is 3, plus 8. Okay. All right. So that's the monk. That's you are a way of the open hand monk, which gives you the ability similar to what. And you also got your healing ability. As an action, regain hit points equal to 3 times your monk level. This one you can't split up.
Right.
So it's not like the 3E monk.
And it's a long rest, I think.
That one recharges on a long rest. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. Then, and your alertness also means that basically you're never caught unawares, and you got plus 5 to your initiative, which is already tracked on your character sheet.
Okay, good. Yeah, I figured it was.
Yeah. So, and we'll play with Astonishing Fortune. So you'll have 2 points of Astonishing Fortune because we've always played Ash that way. For those who are unfamiliar with our Hyperborea campaign, Astonishing Fortune is basically like retroactive inspiration. You can re-roll a dice roll afterwards, take the better of the 2. All right, so then you see this young man. He seems eager, and he seems, well, there's no reasons for concern.
All right. Well, fair enough. Let's get the luggage stowed and let's get going.
I can do that, sir. Puts his hat back on in a kind of jaunty way. Is this all yours here?
Yes, these are my bags.
All right. It told me I should be careful with your bags, so I'll try and be careful with your bags. Car's out around front, sir. We just need to make our way into... I've got you set up at... there's nothing but rooms are available at the local motel.
Okay.
You ever been to Edmonds before?
No, this is my first time.
Well, let me be the first as a local to tell you, sir, welcome to Edmonds. Finest place that any person could ever want to get away from. And he brings you out front of the train station, and you can see his vehicle parked there.
Oh, yeah.
It is a lot dustier than what this is depicted as, and there probably is some cracks in the windshield as well, as I think there is in the photo. It's tough to tell in that one, but in any event, what you can see in the distance is town of Edmonds itself. Have you given any thought as to how you want to approach this?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So basically, let me see if I understand the setup here.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm looking for what sounds like a tent revival,
or like a commune.
Okay.
Yeah, this from what you understand, this has not been. Actually, we can flash back and do some research for you as well, because you got all sorts of folks you can draw on. You should have access to your token as well too. I think it's set up so that you can.
Yeah, I can move it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So what they've told you thus far is that the see, we're walking them in town. It's the best kind of simulation.
Yep.
So what you've learned thus far is that you're not wrong about there being like revivals that move around in tents, but the either really successful or really successful one way or the other, which can be both good or bad, are the ones that are able to set up in some kind of regular area, and there's no shortage of places. It doesn't mean they're going to be there for years. It just means that it's enough for them to get settled in and whatnot.
Right.
And this, your colleague, the mystic, she could see somehow a shadow from that valley stretching out over this sort of, West Texas region.
Okay.
And you know for a fact that a lot of these towns, they're going to be ghost towns, or the folks that are left behind are going to be desperate or whatnot. And that just leads to, especially if they have access to resources, they can pick up places for a song, and if they've got supporters who are willing to donate as well, then it just the ability to use money, not even tapping into any kind of supernatural stuff, is it's almost a like Svengali-esque way of controlling minds. People are that desperate at this time.
Right.
So,
okay.
As he gets you into the car, and would you give us a perception check too, please?
Sure.
This one's with advantage as well. Holy smokes, 2221. What you can see as you're rolling down the road, unpaved road, incidentally, from the train station down towards the kind of one street town, you can see that there is a pickup that seems to be parked in kind of a connecting rural route. I'm not sure what you'd call it in Texas. We call them rural roads.
Where it would probably be something like that. It would probably be something very similar to a rural route.
Yeah, so it is off to the side. It seems to be in a position where you can have a view of the train station, you see a glint of glass, which you would think are either spectacles or more likely binoculars. And as you're going along, you're approaching town, the thing roars to life, and it begins making its way down the road as if to intercept you. As you're going along, you've learned that your chauffeur for today is a young man named Matt Jacobs. And Matt is a local, so you feel free to ask him anything that you'd like. He has got you set up at the one motel that is still open. You're not going to have any service or any kind of turn-down service because they don't have any staff anymore.
Right.
So you hope you like your sheets the way you find them, because that's the way they're going to stay for the duration of your stay. Would you have made any specific requests with respect to where to have your, like, at the front, at the back, having a window, upper floor, lower floor?
Yeah, I was going to say, how many floors are we talking about?
Looks like it's 2? Probably 2, yeah.
That's what I would think it would be 2. He would probably want to be on the second floor facing the road.
Okay. So he was able to accommodate that, no problem.
Cool.
All right. And as you are making your way towards town, you can see he's jabbering away about, trivia on the town, and you can see this pickup truck moving its way towards where where it would be intercepting the rest of the road. Looks like the kind of thing that the beaten up kind of pickups you would see servicing farms.
Right, a farm truck. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like the back is probably partly pulled out. It's been replaced with big, heavy wooden boards. So, what do you do, if anything?
I think you might ask. Matt. Matt, is this your hometown? Are you from here? Have you lived here your whole life?
My whole life, sir. Well, I went away for school, you see, till, things made a turn, and then I came back. My mom and pa are here, and, we lost our oldest brother in the Great War, and then my sister, she had her ideas of doing something big with her life, so we don't know where she's gone now. Out west, we figure. So, with no one else to take care of them, it's not much to take care of, mind. But I did happen to meet someone whilst I was away, and that's apparently how I fell in with your friends. How they knew to contact me. Speaking of friends, and he's looking over, you expecting anybody here?
Other than you, no.
Well, we don't tend to see folk lurking around like that, and I can tell you, anyone who grew up around here, I'll know their faces, and you guys kind of get to the road, and you can see there are, in the pickup truck as you're passing by, it's letting you go by, 2 guys in the front, 1 guy in the middle seat, and then there's 1 guy in the back who's kind of standing up in the flatbed.
Bed.
Yeah. They all look at you as they go by, and they all look, very similar to the faces you saw on the boxcar. Not shiftless is an unfair way of describing them, but that's kind of, men who are just wandering or traveling, hobos, so...
yeah, I was thinking, like Grapes of Wrath, and I was thinking kind of there's almost a broken desperation.
Oh, 100%. And in these ones, too, there is definitely an anger. Because they're all looking at you. And as you drive by, Matt says, I don't recognize any of them, though. And they pull out of the highway, and he says, I think they might recognize you, sir.
They following us?
And he looks out the window to his rear view, and he says, they are, and with some enthusiasm. Now, we ain't got many places to lose anybody in town, sir, but would you like me to see what pepper this thing has?
Yeah, why don't you open this thing up?
Happy to do so. And whoo, he hits it down and the car jerks forward. I tell you, I was training to be a mechanical engineer, sir. And the thing's going up. I might have made a couple special modifications here. And this thing just begins pulling away from the other, and they start trying to pick up and get towards you. Mm-hmm. And as you're going along on the road, this is... your adventures have taken you to some pretty strange... You have flown in airplanes, in gyrocopters before and whatnot. This is a very fast car. So, as it's sort of, hurtling along here, too, he says, "Where's the destination, sir? We're going to be running out of highway fairly soon."
Let's get straight into town. I don't suppose you have any kind of local law enforcement, do you?
I mean, we can go see the sheriff, but for what it's... Well, I could take you to the sheriff, but you'll have to see what you find with him. He may not be much help. Deputies, as you see, are mighty scarce and hard to come by. But, and as you roar into town, he takes the wide turn. It's kind of skidding along, and then carries off in one direction. You can see your pursuers, because they've tried to get up to speed, way overshoot it, and they have to sort of back up and catch up to you. And you can hear he whistles like as if he's, trying to call a horse home. It's like, oh boy, looks like it's a lot harder than it looks, boys. And he goes rolling forward. So you're able to reach the marshal's or the sheriff's station before you get there. Whoa. And what you can picture as you're passing by is almost all these boarded up or empty buildings as you go by. In some cases, they haven't even been bothered to board up. They just put white, newspaper on the inside of the windows. Lumber costs money. Paper is aplenty. So you roll up in front of there, and you can hear, I guess, the ticking of the engine as it's heat up. Yeah. And Matt turns to you. He's like, "Would you like me to get the sheriff, sir?"
No. Stay here. Keep the car running. So Amar's going to step out and just kind of stand there.
Okay. So
and watch their approach.
Yeah, so you can see the other truck has managed to pull itself out and it's roaring towards you guys. And that's when you can hear someone's muttering from within the sheriff's station, and then they come out the door, and what they've been muttering about, "Jacobs, I told you to stop racing up and down this street." And you can see that who walks out is a probably late 40s, early 50s white man. Mostly dark hair, but there's definitely an aggressive spread of salt and pepper, clean shaven, white cowboy hat. And he comes out and he sees you. "Who are you?" And he then hears the truck come rolling up towards, and it kind of stops. So you're kind of standing in the street, I'm guessing facing towards where these guys are.
Right.
They've stopped, facing you, and you got the sheriff who just walked out. What do you do?
I want to address the sheriff. I'm trying to think what he would say to the sheriff.
So for now, while you're thinking of that, there's a pregnant pause as your eyes lock with the driver, I guess, of the other vehicle, or are you moving back and forth between all of them?
No, he's standing. He's showdown kind of. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's staring down the guy.
Yeah.
"My name is Mr. Singh, Sheriff.
Mr. Singh.
Do you happen to recognize this vehicle?"
"Well, yeah, this is that. I could see him in the vehicle. That's Matt Jacobs' Oh, you mean
Not
them
that vehicle,
fellers?
Sheriff. The truck, and a mark points to it.
He looks over. No, why would... I don't recognize any of them. Are you boys out from the Tiller Brothers mine? They don't move at all. All four of them are just eyes locked with you. And then the sheriff puts his hand on his hip, where of course there's a revolver. You boys might be hard of hearing. I said, are you out from the Tiller Brothers mine? Why don't you give us, what do you think here? Is this an intimidate? Is this just a force of will?
It's definitely an intimidation thing.
Yeah, go ahead and give us an intimidate check, please.
Of course, this won't work well, but we'll give it a shot.
You want astonishing fortune then?
Yeah, I've got 2, and it's the first half of the session. Let's go ahead and
you'll
try
get
it.
one another one back at bid session too. Look at that.
There we go. That's better.
All right, so, somewhere a hack DM might insert a tumbleweed going through. So the sheriff takes a step forward. These guys all don't make their eyes are locked with yours. And then the driver is the first one to blink. He looks over at the sheriff and he says, in an accent that is definitely more Okie than it is Texan, mind your business. And he turns the wheel, and as the vehicle turns in a low, slow turn to go back in the direction from whence it came, you hear someone shouts from inside the cab, "You know better, Sheriff. You know your place." And the thing starts going away. The guy in the flatbed turns around, and all he does is, as going away, is just point at you. As he drives away, the sheriff kind of steps out into the street. He looks over at you. Well, Mr. Singh, I take it you're new to town?
Yes, just arrived by the train.
Well, you're making friends with Matt Jacobs and being not so friendly with their types. Say that your stay in Edmonds is going to be an interesting one.
It would seem so.
Well, he puts his hat back, sort of like on the back of his head. Why'd you come in, and we can talk about why you've come here and what kind of trouble you're going to cause me. Matt Jacobs, turn that engine off. Come on inside too. So assuming that Matt sort of looks over at you to take your lead.
Yeah, I give him the nod.
Okay.
I give him the nod.
Turns the engine off, and he and you, do you join the sheriff inside?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay. So he brings you in, and he from inside there is a completely empty sheriff station. There looks like there's a layer of dust in here that probably could could not stop a bullet necessarily, but could easily give you one advantage on a hide check.
Yeah.
He pushes some shit aside at a desk near one, and he pulls over some old, squeaky chairs. He walks on over to a what do you call it? Like a cooler, like a Coca-Cola cooler. And he says, "Mr. Singh, your folk drink?"
Let's see. Only coffee if you have it.
Coffee.
Nothing stronger.
All right. What about if I can't offer you a beer? What about a Coca-Cola?
That'd be fine, sir.
Matt puts his hand up. I'll have a beer. And he says, "You'll have nothing, Matt Jacobs." he sits back. So then you, what you notice though is while the sheriff does get himself a beer, he does give both you and Matt a Coke. So he sits down and says, well, it seems you've done something to upset them varmints up at the Tiller Brothers mine. Why don't you tell me what it is your business here? You're dressed fancy. There's something about you don't strike me as banker types.
No. How would I mean, I have no authority or jurisdiction. I mean,
one of the things you have access to is a fair amount of wealth, because the Aegis institution is Aegis Society has deep pockets, but you also have the advantage of, like, this may be the extent of law enforcement here, is this one dude.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, in this time, in this place, there's just a lot of shit that's tough to enforce. This is where they rely on the marshals and whatnot quite more heavily, is because they need them moving around and whatnot. Mid-30s as well, there would also be FBI that you could call on. But you wouldn't be drawing on that as far as... But my point being is that it's a lot of, like, one marshal, one posse, or one marshal, one mob kind of situation.
Right. I've come here to look into... Do I have a name for who they are?
Yeah. They are... Let's see here. I should have grabbed... If I was smart, I would have grabbed... what's Kevin Crawford's Unknown Armies? I think the horror game. Yeah, I should have grabbed that, and just got a bunch of great tables in it for it. So this is... It is the Open Army of the Merciless Light. Or the Merciful Light, not Merciless.
Oh, okay. I was fixing to say.
Hello, we're Evil McEvil Church.
Obvious.
Yeah, really. Welcome to Our Lady of Perpetual Mustache Twirlers.
Yes.
So yeah, the Open Army of Merciful Light. And army may seem unusual, but remember, like, the Salvation Army was created around this time as well. Yep. Yep. So that is who you're looking for. I'll put it in chat so we...
Yeah. I've come here looking for information on the Open Army of Merciful Light. Do you know them?
Oh. Yeah, we know of them. Are you looking to convert? It's not the types that normally make their way over to Sister Jessica. They're not as well dressed as you.
Let's just say I'm doing some research for some folks back east.
Research from size narrow, kind of looks at you up, slowly goes up and down. You don't strike me as Mr. Hoover's type.
Well, it's more of a academic research.
Oh. See, and here I was hoping that someone was going to come by and drive them varmints off. Matt says, what's that?
Have you been having problems?
They ain't so much as causing problems. Truth is, by the time Sister Jessica and her types arrived here, wasn't that many folk as would fall in with them. And many of folk here know better. Those that stuck around, West Texas types. They're tough. And they they know someone who's full of... We got a saying around here. All hat, no cattle.
Hmm.
And that's what Sister Jessica struck us as. Speaking of mercy and goodness and brotherhood, salvation with each other. But we knew what that meant. We've dealt with bankers types, all of us. But then, it seems, her congregation has been growing. Lots of desperate folk in these times, and folk willing to take a risk on anything. I don't know how she managed to secure the land and the mineral rights, but I can tell you that somehow that poor preacher who showed up out of nowhere, claiming just to want to have a congregation, they're operating heavy machinery out there. We can hear it. We also know that they go out on their missions and bring back others. Others will come and join them. And there's just something unsettling about all of them. There's probably only maybe 4 or 5 dozen of them. But their numbers have quadrupled in 3 months.
Yeah. Do they come into town often?
Nope, not often. Only to pick up deliveries. Always deliveries in big crates. Always deliveries that aren't marked. Though, he leans in. No, you don't look it. You're certain you ain't one of Hoover's boys.
Only in the most tangential of senses.
Well, then, I suppose I wouldn't be risking any kind of trouble with the FBI. Saying that I did have someone open up one of them crates.
Oh?
What we found in there, one of them had some kind of a machinery what I couldn't tell anything about. And at that, Matt kind of, wait, machinery? He just gives him a look of, he doesn't say it, but he gives him a look of like, you settle down, Matt Jacobs. And he then says, the other was, I don't know what it was. Maybe she's trying to set up some kind of foreign museum. It's all sorts of strange objet-d'art, I think your kinds would call them. Fancy knickknacks is what I'd call them.
You said they were running machinery. Are they drilling for oil?
There ain't no oil to be found in that mine. The mine was a copper mine. At least when it was active. Those seams ran dry years back.
Okay.
Far as we know, the stuff they're using there, it's got to be 2 decades old. There ain't nothing worth pulling out of that pit, at least that's what we think. But now, I don't know, rightly.
Well, if you say they only come into town for these deliveries, and they're large crates, where are they getting the food to support this community?
Well, I could tell you, we were... I was hoping to find an excuse. Poachers aren't taken kindly around these parts. And had we caught someone preying on someone else's livestock, that'd give us the justification for taking more aggressive action to drive them off. Trouble is, very much in the way of livestock are left, and what is ain't been preyed on by them. And if that was the case, be a bunch of old folks and crazies is what I could put together as a posse. That and Matt Jacobs. So you come out here, academic-wise, to look at these people. What's academically interesting about them?
Well, there is a great many revivals, if you will, going on across the country. And I worked for some individuals who are researching the arrival and growth of these communities, and to see what their actual interaction is with the local populations that they come into contact with.
You're seeing how the Bible thumpers bamboozle the locals. Is that about the measure of it?
That's one way to say it.
Well, I think with Sister Jessica, you certainly got one world-class bamboozler. Just there ain't no folk with anything worth bamboozling here, at least not from here. But they keep coming in. I don't know what they're doing for food, and I don't know what they're doing with all them folk. Seems as well to be mostly men. Apart from Sister Jessica, I don't know that there's any women or children down there.
So no families.
No families at all.
Interesting.
Well, these times have been tough on folk. A lot of men folk taken to the rails or otherwise. Some trying to chase their pensions. But, yeah, he's down there.
And about how far away is that from here, Sheriff?
To get to the mine, well,
yeah.
if you're taking the roads and you're not driving like a crazy person, then it'd probably take you around a ways about 40 minutes to head out there.
Okay.
Now, if you were driving like a crazy person, then it may take you only about 20, 25. Matt kind of says, like, I could get there in 15, I'm sure. Shakes his head. Now, if you wanted to go overland, taking a horse, you're looking at probably hour ride.
Okay.
Traveling as the crow flies is a little more direct, but that land's a little rough, and horse don't move as fast as in a vehicle.
What time of day is it roughly, Kevin?
I think probably maybe like mid-afternoon, a little past noon.
Mid-afternoon, okay.
Yeah,
right.
You had a standoff in a small Texas town, so I think it's mandatory that occurs at noon.
Yeah, it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Long live the Republic.
Yep, there you go. Yeah.
So,
let's see, what else can we discuss? What else is there to... How many people are left here in town, Sheriff, would you say?
You mean right now?
Yeah.
You're lucky if you scarce up 10 souls. Was there something you were looking for?
No, just trying to get a lay of the land and maybe differentiate locals from, as you were referring to, out-of-towners.
No, you may... Well, we got some shops what are still open, but a lot of them they's only open twice a week. There's no call for it. Everyone knows no call for it to be open any more often. And those would know when to come by. Grocery store still open though. You still get your get some food for yourself. There's a motel that's open when it's got customers. If you don't find them in the motel, there's about 3 doors down on your right to the hotel. You can find them there. And Matt says, I got them booked in there. He says, well, then you got yourself your hotel as well. I'm sure Matt could tell you where you could find gasoline. How are you planning on inspecting these folk?
Well, that's a good question. Anybody that was a local here that you know that went out there and joined up with them?
I can't think of anyone who... and Matt interjects and says, Stewart leads. And the sheriff kind of shakes his head. He's like, what? When did that happen? And Matt says, about 4 weeks back. His folks have been jawing away to mine about that. He just picked up and took on with them. And you can see that really seems to get the sheriff's goat.
So he left, but his parents, I assume, are still here, Matt?
Yeah. His folks are left on his own. I've been trying to look on them what I can, but I haven't got much to offer. My own folk, never mind Stewart's. And the sheriff, that's just great. He came back here, taking care of his folk as well.
Do you know where he had been off to, Sheriff?
Before
Prior to coming back?
Came back to college, from what I hear.
Okay.
Though he came back a little earlier than the he didn't come back quite right from the war. And while he did try to pursue things, his mama took ill, and I think it was a stroke. And you can see Matt nodding his head. She took ill, with his dad getting up there, or his papa getting up there in age. She needs help moving around, and he can't give it no more. So he came back, but he was always shell-shocked, I think is what you call it.
Okay. It might be worth maybe going out and talking to them at some point, Matt.
This way, I know the leads quite well. I could provide that introduction, Mr. Singh. And the sheriff says, what do you think you're going to gain from talking to his parents, other than upsetting them further?
Well, I certainly don't want to upset them, but I would like to talk to them about their son and maybe find out a little bit more about him. And if they maybe noticed anything in how he acted, or maybe in his interactions with them, I mean, it would be interesting to see their perspective. Like I said, this is all about information.
Well,
so the more people I talk to, the better feel I get, and the bigger picture I have.
The sheriff leans back in his chair. Well, hell. And I have plans to get myself right drunk. I suppose I could come and help as well.
Well,
he leans forward. Mr. Singh, you must understand, even if you got Matt Jacobs bringing you out there too, and however fancy your suit may be, if these folks around these parts see you walking up unaccompanied or otherwise, they might mistake you for a thieving Mexican.
Surely a Mexican couldn't grow this luxurious beard.
Oh, possibly not, sir. But with your complexion and the desperation of these times...
Well, that's understood, Sheriff, but I would not go out there without you. But it's not something we have to worry with this evening. We can do that first thing tomorrow morning.
Oh, well, that's awfully good, because I've already taken a very head start on my project for today. Takes another swig of his beer.
Yeah.
You forgive my rudeness, Mr. Singh.
You have been just fine, sir. I appreciate all the help you've given me.
Well, my mama taught me better. My name is Sheriff. A Christian name is Edward, but everyone around here calls me Ned. Ned Sanderson.
I'm taking notes. I know, right? I'm the only one here. I gotta take the notes.
So he shakes your head. He says, well, then, if you finish up your Coke, I don't see your friends from the Tilda Brothers mine coming back. At least not now. You tell me what time tomorrow you want to head out to the Leeds farm, and I'll be happy to come along with you. It's probably the Leeds Ranch, actually, around these parts. Yeah.
I figure probably about 8.
8 o'clock we can do. Why don't we meet up? I can wake up Phyllis and make sure she opens up the diner for tomorrow. We can have a hot breakfast and before we head out.
That sounds good, Sheriff.
Well then, although he looks down, think it might be best if we take my car. And Matt's like, oh.
That'll be fine. Be more official that way.
I like the sounds of that. Official. Then, you enjoy what hospitality Edmonds has to offer, and I will see you for breakfast tomorrow, Mr. Singh.
All righty. Let's go ahead, Matt, and get checked into the hotel.
Says, I can do that, Mr. Singh. He doffs his hat, Sheriff, and the sheriff kind of, yes, Matt Jacobs. So, with you heading on over, we're already at our mid-session break. Why don't we take our mid-session break now, fresh our beverages, and then we'll come back and see what awaits you at the Edmonds Motel.
Sounds good.
Okay, so for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Interesting. Oh, feet. I could look at feet while I'm waiting. Close that.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
No, you're fine, man. I'd rather be early than late.
All right.
I had to test out on my character sheet. It showed that I was trained in stealth. Had a check mark beside it, but it showed a 0 in the number beside it, and I was like, "Well, let me roll that." And as you can see, it didn't have anything, and so I unchecked it and checked it back, and then it put it to 7, which is
oh
what it should
yeah,
be.
yeah. You know what? The yeah, some of those. That's weird.
Yeah, I think it just got a hiccup in it or something.
Yeah, like some of them, I don't know. I can't remember how I set this up, because actually I did this like a month ago or however long ago, and this morning when I went in to get everything set up, I saw like I'd already sort of dragged and dropped a lot of shit that was from the compendium, and I'm like, oh well, I guess I saved myself some work. But when I did that, I can't remember if I'd converted the character over or if I started a fresh character sheet or not. And if I've converted over, sometimes there's artifacts from the previous character sheet that is like locked up in there. Mm-hmm. That leads to some fuck ups. But anyway, well, as long as it's working now, that's good to know. Mm-hmm. I did have to, when I added your alertness feat, it adds the +5 in automatically, but I had to close the sheet and open it up again in order for it to display the initiative properly. Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah.
But, all right, so then with you leaving Sheriff Sanderson, you head back out. The street is as... as you sort of saw as you're coming in, it's just completely empty. There's maybe 1 or 2 other cars that are in here, but they're spaced out. One's in one direction, one's in the other direction on the far side of the one street. And Matt hops into the passenger seat of his vehicle and roars the engine to life. Anything you wish to do before you head to the hotel or motel?
I don't think so. I think he wants to check in. He wants to get a feel for the room, get a feel for all that, and then maybe Matt and I can figure out somewhere to eat.
Okay. So then you are brought over to the motel, and Matt grabs your heaviest bags, and you are heading in. It's one of these hotels that was built with the it's not opulent by any means, but it was built to at least try and look that way. Very narrow. There's a great, I'm not sure if you've seen The Getaway with Steve McQueen, but there's a great... Yes. Okay, so in the check-in in the motel, it looks like a seedy walk-up motel from the 70s in New York, right? Like where it's this real small little area, and then it leads up. So it's the space for rooms and whatnot are maximized, and the actual lobby and check-in is just this tiny little like hole in the wall. I'm kind of picturing like that as you walk in. And when you come in, there's... someone who is sitting, they're not even getting up to get to the front desk. They're sitting at their desk reading the paper, and they've at least given you the courtesy of sort of folding the paper over and looking to see who's coming in. And Matt says, "Oh, come on, Kyle, check this man in." And he sighs and puts things down. He walks over and sees you and kind of does looks over at Matt, looks back at you. "Well, hello, sir. You're our guest for this evening?"
That's correct.
All right. I take it that Matt here has explained we ain't got no turn-down service. We ain't got no maids in the morning. You ain't gonna find no mint on no pillow.
That's understandable.
All right, then. It seems that we understand one another. I was able to provide the room that you request. You need anything from me? My home is 2 doors down. I live on the top of that store there. You can come and bother me or my wife. I'm Kyle. My wife's Wendy. Mr. or Mrs. Beckman, if you want to be fancy. You need anything else before we got in? There's a clean towel in there for you. Oh, the water's limited, so we ask you don't run it.
Understandable.
Anything else you need from there?
I don't think so. I think that'll be sufficient.
Well, then, he folds the paper, puts it under his arm. I trust you can find your way up there, and young Matt here can help you with the bags. Then Matt kind of grins like, no bellhop. Kyle gives him a look like, you need anything, you just give us a holler. So
we'll do it.
He closes the doors or the kind of folding things. You can hear the lock from inside to lock it up, and then he walks out of the office, passing you and Matt as you guys are heading up the stairs to get to the second floor. And as you're going up, Matt says, "Folk used to be a little more friendly here. If you're taking offense to anything they're saying, I just take that hard times make for hard people."
I'm well aware of that.
So flashback to being, attacked by a lightning spitting lizard.
Yeah.
So then, you get into your room, and it's definitely a hotel room. He's absolutely right. There's nothing particularly fancy about it, although he does seem to have done you the courtesy of setting up a fan in here. So there is at least a fan that you can put on, so it will afford some relief from the heat. One thing you had maybe not considered is that the upper rooms are going to be a little more warm than the other, though the open windows are at least trying to dissipate some of the blistering heat. So Matt says, where do you want this in with his your steamer trunk?
Just place it there by the bed. It'll be fine.
He puts it down. All right. Anything else you need?
Well, the only other thing I can think of at this point is maybe something to eat. What do you recommend?
Well, he looks at his wristwatch. I think that Phyllis is likely gone for today, but she likes me. I can get us something to eat and bring back, and I'll get you something to throw in that icebox as well. So then you got something to eat, and I'll see if I can't scrounge up something from the store to drink too. Anything you want in particular?
Let's see. I think I don't know the technology in it. No, I don't think so. But if you can definitely, if you can find some fresh bread, or as fresh as you can, that would be nice.
I can't promise how fresh it'll be, but I can promise you bread. So
I think Amar pulls out, I don't know, I reckon a 5 probably,
okay.
And gives it to him.
I should have grabbed my GURPS cliffhangers.
I know, I was sitting here, I was like, or my Call of Cthulhu, that's what I think.
Yeah, Pope Cthulhu, yeah.
Because they've got all that good stuff in there.
Yeah. This made me think of, because I was watching the Max, I think his name's Max Miller. He has this Tasting History YouTube channel. And he does, he cooks different meals from different histories, like from from Roman, soldiers' food all the way up to like shit on a shingle from World War II. But he was talking about sliced bread, how sliced bread was this major innovation in a video I saw recently. I can't remember the year for it. 1928. There we go. Because before that, it was, unthought of, like, well, why would anyone want pre-sliced bread? You would sell bread as a loaf and then you'd slice it, right?
Yeah.
And that greatest things in sliced bread, because it was so much more popular than what they anticipated. Yeah. So,
it's just convenience.
Yeah. Matt's going to be gone for probably about an hour. Just running errands and talking to people, convincing him to give stuff up. You can hear his car pull away. And then there's just stillness that falls in the aftermath. What are you thinking?
Okay. I think the first thing I want to do, I want to go to the window, actually. I want to kind of see, I mean, it's flat, so I can see a little bit further, but I'd like to see what the view looks like from out the window, kind of.
Yeah. I'll say you've... let's assume that you've picked a window that looks out in the direction of the Tilda Brothers mine, because you would have had access to topographical maps before you headed out here. Yeah, and you can see they're just, maybe it's just the time of day, but the Tilda Brothers mine, this is a south-facing window, so you're still getting plenty of light. Yeah, and there's just, maybe it's your imagination, but there's a haze that seems to hang in the direction of where the mine was, so that doesn't hang. There's dust in the air everywhere here, right? But almost like seeing plumes of smoke or, not charcoal, but burnt coal dust or coal smoke at a distance. Other than that, I mean, you can see the other side of the road in the town, but not much else. It just stretches out and it's desolation. I think the illustration we were using as background gives you a good indication of how bleak this area is. Anything else you wish to do?
I reckon unpack while he's gone. That'll give me time to do that.
Yeah.
And I assume, let's go back over here to my character sheet. I was looking at feats right now. I'll get back over here. See, I assume I've got my rings.
Yep.
So, did we ever decide, like, the size of the radium gun? I mean, I know it was like a pistol.
So you had your radium pistol that you have, but you also had those guns, the larger guns. Yeah,
rifles.
That's the stats that are on there are for a rifle. They're for a proper gun. Yeah.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking is, like, that one is actually can be fired, at a single target at a pretty great distance. Yeah. And I think what we'll do, because the way. Well, we were treating the other ones as having shots or whatnot. Maybe the reason your radium gun itself, the ray gun thing, that thing may have run out of charges. But this one we'll treat like it's a staff in 5e, which means it recharges, it regains charges at the start of each day. So it's got 50 charges in it, and then it'll recover, let me see here. I think it's 1d10 charges.
If it's as high as 50, that sounds probably reasonable.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's actually way less. Whoa.
Oh, really?
For some of these things, yeah. Not how many you have, just how many you recharge. Oh, no, okay. 1d6 plus 4 expended charges come back each day. That sounds right. That we're like whatever this thing's made of, and if you exhaust the thing, there's a chance that it won't start up again.
Oh, it won't start up again.
Yeah. Just like, because you have to kind of be monitoring those last shots. That's kind of a fun risk reward mechanic with the staves, where if you exhaust it, you roll a d20 on a 1, it's gone.
No, I like the way they do recharging in 5e. I think it's interesting. I think that was a good design choice.
It's definitely more cinematic, than what the record keeping is for like AD&D or D&D 3rd or 3.5. But it's not a bad thing by any means.
Yeah, you still have resource management, which that's kind of what I think is important.
Absolutely,
about it.
There's interesting decisions you're making of like, do I use it? Do I not? That's fucking good stuff.
Right, kind of like Wednesday night. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
So
let's see what else.
Well, I guess the other thing is you are certainly you're giving your travels across Thule and Hyperborea and beyond. You certainly are conversant with horses. So the choice of approaching the Taylor Brothers mine would certainly be something that you could you have options for how you choose to approach that.
Yeah, and that's why I remember we were having that conversation, we were talking, I was thinking in the back of my mind, Amar might want to maybe tomorrow, maybe later in tomorrow, he might want to go see about getting a horse here in town.
Yep.
And maybe kind of riding out later in the day and seeing what he can see that way.
Do you think Amar would have a pistol as well as the rifle? Not necessarily on him, but like as accessible to him.
Yeah, you mean just like a regular, like a 45 or 38 or whatever?
You think a revolver or an automatic?
That's a good question. What type of man is Amar? I think he's a revolver guy.
Revolver guy? You got it.
Yep.
Okay, let me...
There's an element of... there's an element of westernness, and when I say that, I mean like the genre, not East versus West. There's an element of that in his mindset.
Oh, definitely.
So, revolvers are reliable. They're proven.
Oh, okay, hold up. There's something...
Oh.
The radium gun, for some reason, went back. I had changed it to being your dex bonus. It's not your strength bonus, and it changed it back for some reason.
Okay. That's kind of like that stealth thing. It just kind of went...
Yeah, that's weird.
Goofy.
Okay, so this has an attack as well. There you go. You got your revolver on there.
Okay.
2. And we'll set it to dex. You are proficient. There we go. So you got your revolver in there now, too. Let's see.
Yep, I see it.
Pow. There we go. Oh, but. Wrong thing.
Oh, that's the ranges.
Always roll advantage. Oh yeah, it's already doing that. I was like, why didn't it prompt for modifiers? Like, it's the only modifier in the game really is if rolling with advantage or not. All right, not to set the bar too high, but I shot pretty well there.
Yeah.
All right, so you get out, and you got your revolver out, you got your gun, that poison stuff, the explosive poison, and your adhesive stuff. The
hardening stuff.
Yeah, the hardening stuff, and then your picture thing.
Yeah, the recorder.
Yeah. So you've got all your stuff set up wherever you want to in here. Matt will be back. Is there anything else you wish to do before Matt returns with your food?
I don't think so. I think I'm good at this point.
So, give me a sec here. Then Matt will return, and sorry, I'm trying to find something here. Okay. He returns and he's got a sandwich. I think Sikhs are vegetarians, aren't they?
Yeah, to a large extent. That's kind of like why he was saying, make sure you get bread.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Are they pescatarians? Do you know? Like, do they?
I don't know. When we were in Hyperborea and Thule, I didn't freak out about it too much. It was kind of like with the alcohol thing.
Yeah.
But now that he's back on Earth, he's trying to be a little more observant.
Okay. So they're not allowed to eat any food prepared through ritualistic process. So not meant to eat kosher, halal things. There's no mandate allowing or disallowing Sikhs to eat meat. It's a personal choice.
Yeah, I think for Amar, it's definitely a choice.
Okay. Okay. So then he brings back some, vegetables, some fruits, and he brings back some meats that, you can choose to do with as you please. And he chit chats with you a little bit. If there is anything else you wish to know about Edmonds that you haven't discussed so far, you can certainly do that. He's going to be heading back to check in on his folks for the evening, and we'll come back. He'll be here by 7:30 to get you over to Phyllis's diner.
Yeah, that works for me. I'm trying to think. There's nothing really else I can think of specifically that I would interrogate him about.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you sort of chit chat. Why not? He maybe asks you a bit if you're willing to be open about some of your travels. He certainly is interested in hearing about those. But then he realizes that the sun's gotten pretty late in the sky. You realize what time? Oh shoot! I gotta go check on my folks. Mr. Singh, it really has been a pleasure. If there is anything else you need, I think the line is still paid for. So you can telephone us at this. If the phone here ain't working, you can likely find one down at, if you can wake up Sheriff Sanderson from his stupor, Ned should have a phone there as well, if anything does urgently come up. But otherwise, I will see you tomorrow morning, sir.
All right. Thank you for everything, Matt.
My pleasure. Happy to help. So then he leaves. And you can hear his engine start up and then roar away. And then there's a stillness that comes on. You do hear, as the light wanes and as the evening comes, you can hear the sound of another car start up. And if you poke your head out and look over where it is, it's the sheriff's. And it does that kind of like drunken thing where it backs up and then stops and waits too fucking long, and then you can hear it moving. Yeah. And he heads off. But once he's gone, there's just nothing but the wind. And you can hear out here. What are you doing tonight?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think if I want to go out and walk around. I think I might want to just kind of walk up and down the streets, just kind of see what's open, what's not. I think what Amar, he's, with his wisdom and everything, and with the kind of character he is, he kind of actually really just wants to get a feel. And that's the way he would do it. He would kind of walk around kind of meditatively, getting a feel for the town and what it feels like here.
One analogy for this, are you bringing, I'm assuming you got flashlight, so you bring a torch, by English use of the word.
Yes.
Yeah. So, which is actually probably going to be needed because I don't see any street lights in here, and there's no other things open tonight. There's a couple of windows that have lights on, but you're able to make your way around pretty much on your own. And there are stretches of here. There is the one main street. There's a couple other buildings that are a little further behind, but they're more, here and there. The main street is the main street, and really the only street in Edmonds. And when you're looking at the empty black holes that were once windows of businesses, and the boarded up nature or the papered up windows in here, the broken windows in a couple of places that no one has bothered to replace, it reminds you of some of those sepulchral, abandoned, lost civilizations that you had explored low back in the days of Thule. And this is a future. If this is the same world from where you came from, this is a future of this too. But you know that civilizations fall, so it might occur to you that this perhaps might be, a precursor or the early stages of this all coming to an end. There's certainly folks who seem to feel that way. How are you feeling being in this town, back out in the wild? Utter stillness. But a threat, I guess, lurking nearby.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, he's been here for a while, so he's more comfortable. He's back at home, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
He's concerned still that, I think the biggest thing he's thinking about is maybe how they knew that Matt was picking Amara up. I think that's really what he's probably turning over the most, is trying to figure out, because he's it's not a coincidence. I mean, he knows that.
Yeah.
There was no coincidence to that. So that's probably where his mind is most, is how did they know I was coming, and how did they know when and where to be?
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, of course, Amar's got experience with all sorts of strange, arcane, divine gifts of other people, and he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
So he's definitely thinking there is something supernatural at hand.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you are... Hold on here. I'm going to use something that I use in far too many games.
No.
I haven't loaded enough things. So you're making your way, and in the darkest part of the road, furthest away from where lights are, you're weighing these things over. What do you have with you right now? Your rings, I'm assuming, never come off. Your cloak, I'm assuming, never comes off.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have the rifle or anything, but he may have very well just pocketed the revolver, since he definitely knows there's some sort of threat.
Oh, and it would not have drawn any attention, or that wouldn't have drawn any attention from locals here.
Yeah.
So, what you can feel as you're thinking this over and you're pondering, how the hell do they know that I'm out here? You are suddenly aware that you are definitely not alone.
Oh.
Something is out there in the darkness. You can hear it breathing.
Can I make a perception check to kind of figure out what this location is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on. There we go.
You look over and it's an alleyway.
Okay.
Did you conceal your effort to look over there, or did you just sort of...
Yeah, that's kind of what he was wanting to do. He was wanting to kind of stay where he was, but really sort of hone his senses and see, okay, what direction is it coming?
Give us a stealth check, please.
Yep.
See how well...
Yeah.
Okay. You have two. You got one more.
Yeah, I know, but I might, there's still enough time for you to kill me.
Okay. So you look over, and you can't see. Oh no! Hold on. That was the stealth was to. I think you look over and you try to be surreptitious about it,
right.
But maybe you're just a little too eager to see. And what
probably cocks a bit too much.
Yeah. And what leans out of the shadows? Once again, I apologize for my laziness at using the same. This guy shows up in every fucking game.
He's like the John Saxon.
Exactly. He's my constant casting for for nameless thug guy. But this guy leans out of the shadow, so just so you can see his face, and he seems to have like some kind of like worker's smock on, maybe a welding smock, maybe it's not a butcher smock because there's nothing on it, but it's the kind of thing you wear to protect yourself from working around machinery or welding or you know. But if his intent is uncertain, what you see as he moves very slowly forward, what comes out of the shadows is a great big bloodied, dried mind you, but bloodied axe. Kind of thing that you would use to fell a full-grown tree. He looks at you. And let's roll some initiative. Now, 5e sheet, you should not have to actually click on your token.
Yeah, I know we didn't before. We'll see if it still works.
It did work with PF2 last night.
Yep.
There we go. Fine, pretty awesome. Now, oh yeah, I got +5 to it as well. Okay, and his... Oh, I rolled terrible. Now, first thing I do need from you, though, on his... let me just set the initiative order. I think there might be an ability that triggers beforehand.
For him?
No, for... there we go. For him, yes. Yeah. But for his thing you're saving against, let's see. Yeah, so this would have been part of his... when he was leaning out of the shadows. Let me get this. Oh, and it's one of these campaigns that I just set up, and I haven't fixed the display of the tokens. You know what I will say is last night we had a hell of a time with Roll20 chugging and whatever. We've had none of that problem today. So, clearly you're the lucky charm there, Will.
Yep, smooth as I can tell.
Okay. So I think you should see a bar without the numbers now.
Yeah, I see the bar. You got it.
Okay. So he leans out. And would you kind of give us a wisdom saving throw, please?
Okay.
15 is good enough. You can feel like whatever feeling of danger that you may have seeing this person in the darkness here is a natural response to what clearly is potentially a dangerous person. But there is something unnatural as well, otherworldly, that hits you. And if you were less experienced and less traveled, you may be afflicted with an unnatural fear from his very gaze. But you are up first. I think you guys are probably, I don't know, like you're within 30 feet. You're within a move of one another right now. So what are you doing?
I think actually Amar's actually going to try and talk to him first. I really think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. What's he do? Okay.
Nice night.
Sure. Give us a diplomacy check, please.
Oh, wait, is it persuasion?
Persuasion, yes. Wrong game, Madison.
It's okay.
Now, that's actually pretty good, yeah. So he sees you, and then he raises up the axe, points at you, and moves back into the concealment of the shadows.
Well, that's odd.
He's there for a moment, and then he is not. What are you doing?
Oh, that's a good question. I gotta go. I'm curious.
Okay.
So yeah, I follow the darkness.
Okay. So you're easily able. You move 1.5 times faster than what any normal person would be. So you, light of foot, race over to the alleyway, and you have to turn your light on. One of those insufferable North Americans who uses British slang. So you turn this thing on, and you're looking around. There is no one in this alleyway. There's like abandoned, pallets in here. There's some other trash. There's maybe some rats who are disturbed when you shine the light in here.
Mm-hmm.
No sign of him, though. Why don't you give us a perception check, please? Nat 20. Fucking beautiful. So, you can hear, as you're sort of looking around, the sound of heavy breathing coming up from behind you.
Okay. So I'm gonna spin around for sure.
Spin around. He is somehow on the he has gone to almost to a building right near where you were, and he seems to somehow have gone from there to there. He's racing over towards you, seemingly intent on doing ill with his axe.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got it raised.
He's got it in a position where he can swing it at you for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think he can. He's not going to be able to reach you this round, but you are now once again about a move away. What would you like to do?
All right, let's just straight up move in and pop him. The best defense is a good offense.
Okay.
So I will move into within 5 feet, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we'll go ahead and do, let's see, this guy's coming in an axe. Amar runs in kind of, let's see, what would he, I know what he would do. He kind of moves in and he's kind of moving to the side to where, if the axe normally you kind of bring it over your head.
Yeah.
He's kind of moving to the side where he would have to adjust some of that.
Okay.
And just punches him in the ribs.
Okay. Do you wish to take advantage of any of your key points to do any?
I don't think so at the first.
Not yet?
Because I don't have to spend a key to get the bonus attack.
No. So first off, you got extra attack already, so you're attacking twice when you take the attack action, and you can do a bonus action to do one extra attack.
Right, but
and
the
then if
bonus action for that's just like free because it's part of the monk class.
The bonus action, is part of the monk class, but from first level. Extra attack is what makes your attack action 2 attacks, and you could spend a key point to trigger flurry of blows, and then you also get to pick one of those 3 options from open hand tradition.
Yeah, he's not going to go that far yet. He wants to see what he's up against first.
Sure. So go ahead and give us an attack roll for the first one. Just click on the attack.
Good work. Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, so you swing at him, and he that is not even going to connect with him. Second attack.
Yeah, let's try this.
And if you want to spend your astonishing fortune, just let me know.
No, I will.
Oh, you will spend it?
No, I will let you know.
Oh, let me know. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You got it. All right, so that first one goes aside. The second one hits, and this guy, fucking solid.
All righty. So now I'm getting a feel for the size of this dude.
Yeah. So you still have a bonus action you could take as well?
And I can do the bonus action for another attack, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
There's that. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so another hit. All right. So then he is not pleased with this. He bellows out like an unintelligible grunt, not very loud. I should say bellows. He's sort of he's making sounds that are terrifying up close, but likely don't carry very far. His first attack of his is that's a 9, so I think that's a miss. You got an 18 AC, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he swings that axe. It does not connect. He brings it around. Fucking 9 as well. And then he hits your shoulder, or he uses his shoulder to hit you, to just knock you just a little bit off step, which allows him to disengage. So he moves back. So he's out of melee right now. And then he turns and races down that alleyway. You're easily going to be able to catch him. He's slow. He's very slow.
I was going to say, I outrun his ass.
Yeah,
for sure.
so then it's your turn. Again, what are you doing?
Do I get a reaction for him disengaging?
Well, disengage is the thing that allows you to ignore...
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's actually worth noting because that's one of the things you can spend your key point on, is you can spend a key point to disengage or to, beyond the offensive stuff, you can disengage with a key point. You can use the dodge action, which imposes disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and there's one other thing that I can't remember.
Is that under evasion, maybe?
It'll be under...
no, that's for area effect.
Yeah, under the key point.
Let's go under key.
Stuff. Here we go. And the other one is... Or dash. Yeah, so you can spend extra... Key, which is just moving once again.
Right.
Okay. So he's racing down the alleyway. What are you doing?
I'm pursuing him. I'm going right after him.
So you can easily catch up to him. You'll have to spend... Because a disengage allows you to move, I think it's half of your movement. Which actually means you can catch up to him in one move, because you move 45.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should be able to get him.
Yeah. So you sprint after him. You're able to catch up to him. What are you doing? You have an action and you have a bonus.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do... Okay. All right, so let's use Flurry of Blows. Let's try to do that. And is there anywhere on here to track? Oh, there's key. Never mind.
Your blue bar. Okay. Your blue bar will track it for you.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, spend a key point, do Flurry of Blows.
Okay. So do you want to do your action first or your bonus action first? Bonus action is the flurry attacks.
Let's do the regular attack and then we'll resolve the flurry, right?
Okay. So you got 2 regular attacks first. Go ahead. That one's a miss. That one is a hit. So you knock him aside. He batters your first strike aside with the haft of his axe, and then you solidly hit him. It causes him to stagger back a second, but you're still on him. You have now 2 bonus action. Okay, now for your flurry, do you want to do the dexterity one? What is it? The knock him back 15 feet, which is the strength save. You can make him not have reactions, which is automatic. There's no save against that. Or you can... What is the dex save one? Is it stun? Or is knock prone with the dex?
That's what I'm looking for, is try and knock him prone.
Okay, so go ahead and give us your first flurry. That is a hit. Wow, big hit. Let me just apply damage here. And he needs to make a dex save or fall prone. His dex is not great, and you're saving to 14 I'm rolling against, I think.
Yeah, we said that earlier.
Yeah,
it's 14.
I got 14 on the nose, so 15 total. He staggers back, but you nearly knock him down, and you got one more flurry. Oh! Yeah. You want to hero point that one? Or here, astonishing fortune that one?
No, I'm going to hold off.
Okay.
Hold off.
So you knock him back, and that second one just doesn't... He steps over your sweeping blow, and it's his turn. So he brings that axe down once again. That's not going to do it. Foof, into the ground. Second one... Ooh. Second one is a 20.
Whoa.
So that is a hit.
That's why I say that astonishing fortune.
Yeah. Okay, and let's see here. That is 8, 11. Oh, he's shooting with 2 hands, though, so it's more. Hold on. Okay. That is 19 points of damage as this thing hacks across, and I think that is it for him. Yeah.
That's all right.
All right, so Amar, this guy, he is ruining your goddamn suit.
Yeah, I know, right? Son of a bitch. Let's see here. Okay, so let's... Yeah, I'm definitely going to go ahead and do the flurry of blows again.
Okay.
But if I hit him, let's see, is that useful? Yeah.
You can feel free to, like, we're doing this theater of the mind. If you think there might be something like a boarded up door you want to knock him into or something like that, feel free to play with the terrain as much as you like.
I think what I'm thinking about doing is, if I hit him again, I want to spend a key point to try and do a stunning strike on him.
Ah, hell yeah. So that you don't need a flurry for. That you can do with any of your attacks after you hit.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Yeah, but I don't do flurry on this dude. I'm trying to wear him down because he's tough.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. And for your flurries, which one do you want to do? Dex again, try and knock him prone, strength knock him back, or give him no reactions?
Let's go with
that shove with his shoulder he did where he knocked you back. That was a reaction. No, that was a bonus action. Okay. Ignore me. It wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go with Let's go again. I'm trying to knock him prone. I'm trying to get this dude incapacitated.
Hell yeah.
Not necessarily kill.
So tactically, you know what might be smart? Because I think attacking someone who's prone, you got advantage on it, is use your bonus action first.
Okay.
Do the two...
and try and get him to knock down.
Yeah. So that is a hit. I'll apply damage here, and then I'll make my save. Okay. And he's down on the ground. You saw the momentum that was coming with that hit that got you. You easily hit his knee. It gives way, and he falls down to the ground. You have another one. This is with advantage now?
Yep, this is with advantage, and then hopefully... Oh, yeah.
Let me check something. I wonder if you can swap up with each attack.
What do you mean?
So when you hit a creature with one of your attacks granted by Flurry of Blows, you can impose one of the following effects on the target, which means if you want to now try and like knock him back or give him no reactions, you could do that on your second Flurry of Blows strike. Because that is a hit. Wham!
I think I would rather spend my key point and make that the stunning strike.
Yeah. Okay.
And give him the stunned condition until end of next turn.
He has a con save. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, against 14. Ooh, he's got a decent con save though, but
yeah, I figured he might.
Yeah, so you hit him and you can hear like this should have knocked that hit should have knocked the wind out of any normal man. He is either built of sturdier stuff or is just not taking pain the way that he should. You still have 2 more attacks if you choose to attack with your attack action or with your action.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that because obviously.
So you got advantage on both of these. Let's see.
The first one hit, the second one didn't.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was the first one. I missed the first roll. Okay, so that first one. Whack!
I'd rather it hit. It got the better damage.
Yeah. Now, you could Astonishing Fortune that second one, if you like.
I don't think. Well, yeah, let's do it. Screw it.
Okay.
Looking at the time, let's go.
So,
19.
Whack! All right. All right, so then his turn. I don't think standing up draws an attack of opportunity in 5e, but I'm going to double check.
Okay. I know, doesn't it use your action, though, or your whole move?
No, it's half your move, actually. You use half your move to stand up in 5e.
That's okay. I think I found the feat I need.
Oh, nice.
Durable.
What does that one do?
Increases your con by 1, and when you roll hit dice to regain hit points, the minimum number is twice your con mod.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, that'll get me some more hit points.
Hell yeah. And more con.
Gets me 7 more. So.
Okay, for tuning tech 195. It does that frustrating thing where in the glossary I looked up attack of opportunity and it says see opportunity attack, and it's like you could just put the fucking number. You could just put the number there again. That's fine. Don't fucking hector me about nomenclature. Glossary or index. Come on. All right. Opportunity attacks.
See, now that's why I use the roll 20, because I can just search it.
Yeah, I'm much wiser. I just enjoy the love-hate relationship I have with books.
With indexes.
Yeah. Like the index in here, don't get me wrong, it's fucking great. Like it's extremely comprehensive. They did a really good job of it. Yeah, so standing up doesn't, it's when they leave your reach.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just double check on standing up. Yeah, I couldn't find a thing for standing up. I know it takes half of your move. Which is a pretty clever way of just easily calculating how much it takes. But,
doing so costs a movement half your speed. That's all that says.
Yep, no attack of opportunity. Okay, cool. All right. Then, this is if we were playing 3.5, you would have got an attack of opportunity on him.
Yeah.
So, then he gets up and sweeps that axe up at you. Now that's nat 20.
Shit.
Yeah, that's gonna smart. Okay. Oof. So that is 25 points of damage. So, that is a big hit on him. And then he's got his follow-up where he brings it up and down. That is a 9, so that is not gonna... He then says in a language I think you've rarely heard since leaving Thule. It is a strange and a hard one for the human tongue to make, but it is Yithian. It is not the correct name for your nemesis, but it is one of the names they have had over the millennia that they have, over the millions of years, I should say, the epochs that they have been active. What he says to you in Yithian: "You should not have come, traveler." And he's going to use his bonus action to again kind of jostle you and then stagger back. He's pretty messed up, so he's not going to be able to get out of your range, but it is your turn next. What are you doing?
I'm going to have to use my action.
Okay.
To do that.
Hold on to the body. Nice. So you... and restore your...
21. That gets me almost half.
Yeah. And... let me see
but
here.
Then I can still move and stay within...
You can still move. I'm just checking here whether... Okay, what I was checking is whether... So monk martial arts is triggered when you make an attack as an action. So when you make an attack as an action, you can then do that. However, Flurry of Blows just requires you to spend a key point. So if you've got a bonus action available right now, you could spend a key point and then flurry with 2 attacks as a bonus action.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat... I was thinking, like, what is the distinction? That's it. You do have to make an attack in order to use the regular bonus action thing, but... do you risk it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Nice. All right. So you race in. Holy smokes! Whack in the back. And which of the 3 things would you like to trigger?
Once again, I don't know. I mean, his reactions, he doesn't seem to... Okay, you're just thinking through it. Doesn't seem to be any issue there.
Of the 3 saves available between your stunning that uses con, the knockback which uses strength, and the knockdown that uses dex, which of those 3 do you think he's most susceptible to?
I think the dex. I think getting knocked down.
That's a good reading of this encounter, I would say.
Yeah, the prone.
Okay. I rolled 18 on it, though, so he is 19 with my bonus. So you hit him and he staggers, but you got one more. Nat 20! Sweet! Crit for crit.
Oh.
So here's the thing, though. There's something he has, which is relentless.
He's got one of them abilities.
So you hammer him. I do need to make a con save.
Okay.
with a DC equal to 5 plus the damage taken. So this is a con save against a 18. I'm going to roll in chat.
Okay.
Because this will be, I think, interesting. It's whether he is unconscious or whether he is at 1 hit point and able to act next round. Oh, hold on. I'm an idiot. So you, wow, hammer this guy. He staggers back, and there's a brief moment where you think he may still fight on, and then the axe falls from his hand. He drops to his knees, and there's a heavy, wet sound as he hits the ground, well and truly unconscious. Or is he dead?
Yeah, Amar definitely wants to move in at this point since he seems down. I think first Amar would make sure that hatchet is out of reach.
Yeah, so you're easily able to push that away.
And then he probably rolls him over and checks if he's still breathing.
Your choice. You can do lethal or non-lethal damage with your strikes.
Yeah, I want to keep this guy alive because I want to try and interrogate him. Basically.
Yeah. So he is alive then. Your strike,
okay,
like
good.
you struck to take him down. He's going to feel like shit whenever he wakes up.
Yeah,
but he is unconscious. I think it's an hour before they get to
stunned condition.
No, 0 hit points.
Oh, 0 hit points. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember how that works here. Let's take a look. You know, it's funny. I almost every morning I have my breakfast before these sessions, for the Saturday sessions, and I'm like, boy, I'm feeling pretty full. I don't think I'm going to be able to have my my diner lunch today. And like, it's 15 minutes to end a session, and I'm fucking ravenous. Like, get that rancheros wrap in me. Okay.
Dropping to 0, fall unconscious. Ends if you regain any hit points. See conditions. I'm not finding anything.
Yeah, so it'll be natural healing, I imagine. Healing, here we go.
Stabilizing. It does remain unconscious. 1d4 hours.
Is that what it says?
So a stable creature doesn't make death saving throws, even though it has 0 hit points, but it does remain unconscious.
I think if it's non-lethal, he'll auto-stabilize.
What's that?
I think he's non-lethal, he auto-stabilizes.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I was thinking it says a stable creature that isn't healed regains 1 hit point after 1d4 hours, which I would assume removes the unconscious condition.
Yeah, so he's going to be unconscious for at least an hour.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I need to, first things first, I need to figure out, I guess, a way to tie him up. I really don't want to necessarily take him back to the hotel.
Give us a, let's see here, because there's a lot of empty things here. I think either perception or survival is probably the appropriate scrounging kind of skill.
Yeah, let's do survival.
Yeah. It may not surprise you to learn that coming across a rope in a town that has horses is not
that difficult.
Not that difficult. So you're able to find something to tie this guy up before he regains consciousness. And what do you wish to do with him next?
Yeah, I need to take him somewhere.
I guess one upside to this is that there doesn't appear to be anybody else in town.
Yeah.
Amar's got, what, 13 strength?
Yeah, he's not like super strong, but I mean, I figured that would be enough to move somebody around.
There's also probably, with a 19 of your roll, if you want to get a wheelbarrow to transport this dude, you could find one.
There you go. Wheel this guy around in a wheelbarrow.
But is the hotel where you wish to bring him back to?
No, that's the one thing I don't want to do.
Okay.
So back over. Let's go back over by the sheriff's office.
Okay.
I know we've got some vacant buildings, storefronts or whatever. What's one that's kind of close to there? Is there maybe not in the front, but maybe there's like a back door or something where maybe I could jimmy it and go in there?
Yeah. Why don't you give us, so you're not trained in thievery, so you're not picking locks, but let's see how minimal the disruption will be with a stealth check, please.
Stealth check, okay.
Yeah. So you're able to find a door that seems like it's going to be damaged anyway and bring them in there. Yeah. This is maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what stores would be closed down. This may have been like the local paper, maybe.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay, so you get him in here and you're able to find a chair to toss him on or tie him to.
Yeah, tie him to, for sure.
Anything else you wish to do before he comes to?
I don't think so. I think...
I will tell you, once he's in there, if it's going to take more than an hour, you can complete a short rest.
Oh, okay. What do I get back from a short rest?
So you get all your key points back, and you can choose to spend any of your hit dice on a one-for-one basis to roll them and regain hit points. And you roll them one at a time, see what you get, and then decide if you want to spend more.
You know, why does the short rest button not work for me? It doesn't work in the Wednesday night game.
Oh, you mean when you click on it and it yeah, I don't know. There's probably some automation thing I fucked up when setting up the character sheets. So
because I know the long rest button worked because I hit it last time. When I finally completed that long rest Wednesday and it worked, but the short rest button didn't work in either of them. So I spend a hit die and then roll it, right?
Yeah.
To get hit points back?
Yeah.
So let's just do it one at a time and see. Okay. We'll roll one.
Okay, because it should... Well, actually, the hit dice rolling thing should work because it'll add your con to it, too.
Okay.
There's a button for rolling hit dice on the character sheet.
I see that.
I mean, take that 8. Like, that's fine. That's 8, and your con is what, a 13 as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 9 points back.
Let's try one more. So I spend it and then click where it says hit dice.
Nice.
Wow.
We got 40 points back. Okay.
Yeah, that's almost max.
You want to keep going, or you want to? You get all your...
No, I'm good. I think that's sufficient.
Okay.
I really don't think we're going to have any more trouble out of this guy. I don't think.
Okay.
While he's unconscious, does he have anything else on his person?
Yeah, so you search through his pockets, and what you find is a faded black and white photo of a young boy. It looks like it's worn the way that like a pocket stored in a or a jacket stored in a pocket would be. His clothes are pretty filthy and covered in dust, as if they've been, been, what do you call it? Worn while doing a lot of heavy labor. His hands are calloused quite badly, in the way that like a heavy laborer might be, but you're not trained in medicine, are you?
No.
Give us a medicine check anyway. See what if any information. I think because of your martial arts training, it's been a long time since you've had any blisters or whatnot on your hands. Your hands are, plunging them into buckets of sand kind of stuff. Because you went to the Hollywood School of, or perhaps Hong Kong School of Martial Arts.
There you go.
The calluses on this guy's hands are a couple of months old. The busting of his nose there, likewise, is a fairly recent thing. So they're not the calluses you would expect to find on the hands of someone who's worked their entire life as a laborer.
A laborer. Yeah.
This is someone who has relatively recently been working some very heavy work, but not enough to have like years worth of calluses in his hands.
Okay.
He's a big dude, though. Like, this is a pretty big guy. There's not really anything else. Like, no keys in his pockets. No
money?
Curiously, no. There's no money in there either.
Yeah.
No wallets.
Yeah, that is a little curious.
Would you give us a D4 roll? Let's see how long it takes before he wakes up.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're just sort of finishing your, resting and contemplating what to do when you can hear kind of, hey, what's going on? And he's looking up, and unless you've got your flashlight on, it is perfectly dark in here, right? Like there'd be only the light coming through from moonlight out there.
Yeah.
The voice you're hearing, it's the same voice, obviously, but it is not twisted and pained. He is speaking English. And give us a history check, too, please.
Okay. This won't win. This will be bad.
Nat 20. So I'm not going to do one because I can't remember what it fucking sounds like, and I don't want to attempt it. But this guy has like a Boston accent.
Huh.
He's traveled from very far away.
Yeah.
And what's going on? Where am I? Wait, who? And I'm assuming because of your stealth, like you're not going to be detected unless you choose to be detected.
Yeah, I think what Amar is doing, Amar's going to stand behind him, out of sight, basically. And I think he's going to try and intimidate him, from there.
Yeah, you'll definitely have advantage on that. Well, what would you like to ask?
What's your name?
Go ahead and give us an intimidation check, please. With advantage. Nat 20 again!
Damn.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you going to kill me?
I should, considering your hatchet-wielding skills.
Hatchet? What are you talking about? Where am I?
You're in a very precarious position. You answer my questions truthfully, you'll be fine.
You can hear...
But you lie to me.
He's trying to stifle in sobs.
And things will go bad.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. And you can hear him... he's softly kind of muttering a Catholic prayer.
Okay. Let's see here. Your name?
Benjamin Reynolds.
Where are you from, Mr. Reynolds?
Boston.
What are you doing in Texas?
Well, I came here. I heard about a woman. They said she could heal. She could make things right for you. She was having an army, but it was one of mercy. And I came and... Oh, God, what happened? Where was I? I came, and they strapped me down with the doctor. They said it was a routine check. A lot of men from a lot of places. And then I was in a place with a yellow sky. And there were monsters there. Made of shapes. And he's going to keep describing something that sounds very similar to experiences you've had when you've gone to different places, although in his case, he seems to have been trapped. And I'm going to have to make a wisdom save for him because his mind is beginning to crack.
Uh-huh.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, Jesus.
So he is starting to describe it, and he's getting louder and louder when he's talking about the creatures of cones and claws and a horrible chittering and the smells, and he's getting louder and more hysterical.
I think at this point, Amar, of course, he's still behind him,
Yep.
but he flashes on the flashlight, you know, and he's kind of holding it like the guy's seated and Mar's standing back behind him. So he turns on the light to where it kind of casts that guy's shadow in front of him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You rolled a nat 20 on your intimidation, so you're going to get some leeway for getting him back in order.
What do you remember next?
I was there, I don't know how long. It might have been years. And then I woke up here. Oh, God. How long have I been gone?
What's today's date?
And he gives you a date that is from 6 months ago.
Okay. I think the next thing, Amar, he's got that, he's still holding on to the picture.
Oh, yeah, you have it in your hand, yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to, because like I said, he's standing behind him, but he's going to reach around with the picture and show it to the guy. Who is this?
He just starts weeping. Yeah, and he says, Junior. Benny Jr.
Did he come with you?
I came for him.
Did he come with you to Texas?
No. I was only going to bring him if it worked. If it was something that would... If it wasn't a lie. And what he blubbers out to you is Benjamin Jr., his son, has tuberculosis.
TB.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he did not seem to have the money to relocate down here. And, I mean, you're going to one of the most heavily affected, destitute areas, so even though moving to a drier climate is what they would recommend at that time,
Right.
how the fuck is he going to do that when he's got no
Right.
money and move into a place where he's just going to starve? And the dust, I actually don't know whether the dust would have changed the recommendations with tuberculosis, because I can't imagine that's good for someone
I'm sure it's not good. I have no idea what they were doing during the Depression, if they were still having, you know, and Texas is, you know, with the Dust Bowl and all that, that's probably more dusty than when you get to the mountains.
Yeah, fair enough.
Probably
That's
once
true.
you get to the mountains, that dust dies down. So, because that's where I always think about they call them sanatoriums, I think is what they called them.
Yep.
I always think of them in like Arizona.
Yeah.
And that's further west, and it's a different climate.
Yeah, and like Arizona's a desert to start. It was the impact of the it was all that fucking, because they tore up all the prairie grass and planted shit.
Right.
That's what allowed all that alluvial soil to just get picked up and thrown away. Have you seen that photo, or rather that video of the dust storm hitting New York City?
No.
Oh, it's really fucking cool. I'll see if I can find it for you afterwards. But yeah, like one of those dust storms hit New York, and it was like the dust storm photos you see of Oklahoma towns and things like that getting hit, but the whole of New York.
Man.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
So what you find is, this guy has a recollection of showing up, trying to see if this Sister Jessica could help his son, and strapping down for some medical, or laying down for some medical procedure, and then he remembers being trapped for years on this alien world. He couldn't move, he couldn't, speak, and then suddenly he was up in this chair. You can give us an Arcana check, 'cause I think you've definitely been around.
This won't go well either. Ah, man. What were these rolls Wednesday night?
Yeah. Your nemesis, the Yithians.
Yeah.
One of the things they cannot travel bodily through time and space, but they are able to project their minds.
That's right.
And I think because you have encountered them but escaped them at one point. And this is one of the many forms that they took over the millennia, over the epochs, the millions of years for which they have been active. This may have been what Benjamin has seen. You have seen these yourselves. Captured allies at one point, horribly mutilated them with surgery, left you abandoned on another world. And yeah, it appears your nemesis are at work on this world as well. What do we end on?
I think we end on, I think Amar is going to cut him loose. And I'm kind of what I'm thinking is I think what Amar wants to do, he wants to take him back to the hotel and just have him, I'm sure there's a lobby.
Yeah. There's
sit him in the lobby.
Tiny lobby. There's other rooms in here, to be honest. Like if you were so inclined, you could probably break into the manager's office and open up one of the other rooms if you want him to have that.
Yeah, it's a bit obnoxious. I'm trying to... I think what he wants to do is, I think, he's got some food and something to drink.
Yeah.
I think Amar's going to go up there, bring it down to him, and I think you say, you stay here, you rest, and he's going to take out some money, whatever, and then tell him in the morning, you get on a train and you go back to Boston.
He is utterly astounded. What? You just going to let me go?
You've told me what I need to know. Now, I would like you to stay and tell the sheriff in the morning, but I can't make you.
He nods. The Aegis Society is based in the Northeast.
I figured as much.
And if you were so inclined, tuberculosis is a horrific ailment here. You guys have access to the very best doctors and occultists anywhere. If you were so inclined to try and get this guy's loyalty, that is certainly a bargaining chip you could bring. I'll let you consider that. You don't need to necessarily be collecting strays, but I mean, it was not intended on this, but like it is an accidental, recreation of pulp things where you're slowly like collecting the people you need to work with for your wanted mystery, and then
It's like the Shadow with his network of people.
Totally, yeah. Or the Lobster in his.
Yeah, the Lobster.
So you'll be meeting with, or he will be meeting with the sheriff. I mean, from the sounds of things, he's not going to have he's got no memory of his time from there up until the time he was attacking you. So what evidence he'll have to offer to the sheriff is going to be limited. But I'll let you consider that between now and whenever we see Amar once again. So as we close it, we're a little over time, so I'll make this quick here. But what were your? I mean, we played only one session of it. How do you feel that 5e modeled Amar?
He felt fairly close to what we had there. Especially in the second edition, the extra attacks, the damage. I think the damage is a little bit less in this system, but he did seem to maybe be hitting more.
Yeah, you get more attacks. That's a big thing that seems to be with 5th, is that the actual damage for each of your individual attacks doesn't spike up the way it does in some other editions, but you just get a shit ton of attacks as a monk. Right? And then, which is neat, especially if you're dealing with multiple adversaries. That's going to be interesting to see, the mook thing. But cool. Well, this was great. And I got to attack you with a crazed killer with an axe. So I've hit my October criteria for today's session.
That's what I should say. The Halloween criteria have been met.
Exactly. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this part 1 of the Return of the Reaver. Adventure campaign, we'll see. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. Maybe I'll also add in, after the fact, a link to the playlist for the Reavers of Tulay, Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign, because we played that campaign for what, two and a half years?
Yeah, it was yeah.
So that is where this character originates from. So if you do want to explore the adventures of Amar when he first arrived in Tulay, that is, I'll include a link down below for that. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. They have a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games. And I'll mention one game that I did, or one book I used today, and that was Sandy Peterson's Cthulhu Mythos, for prepping for today's session. It's all 5th edition versions of the kind of classic Cthulhu Mythos stuff, as well as Cultist Killer, which is what I used for my axe-wielding maniac for tonight. There are so they also have an unmatched selection. Noble Knight has an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, and if they don't have something in that is listed in stock, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in, and you can pick it up at your leisure. If you make a $10 or more purchase through their website, be sure to enter the code FALLMUSER, all one word, all caps, listed in the description of this video, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. If you're listening to this at a later date, that will expire January 15th, 2024. If you're listening after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos. We'll have a more up-to-date discount code. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. It's a charity campaign we run on the channel that benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, really incredible organization, active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. And all donations that go through that link go directly to them. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from the services of SOS Children's Villages International. And as a small way of saying thank you, if you donated $10 or more since June 1st, 2024, head on over to the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you will be able to vote for our final session of our Year of Ill Omens campaign. This is part 6 of the year-long campaign. We still are voting on what kinds of heroes we're going to play, what kind of adventure we're going to play, but we know it is going to be set in the 1980s. And the last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to Will. We've had to run up quite a few pickup games over the summer for this campaign. I am really happy to have finally got a chance to actually do what I was been planning for a while and get you back to playing Amar in a different circumstance. So thank you so much for playing today and giving me an opportunity to return to this character.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff. This is the guy.
Nice. Then we'll be back in with the Savage Supers in the Great White North in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours, take your mind off the troubles of our world, and think about the troubles that our intrepid Mr. Singh is uncovering in this Dust Bowl, Texas town. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.